A woman claiming to be a foreign princess walked into Georgian England's finest drawing rooms, and nobody questioned her for over a year. April 1817. The drawing room of Mrs. Worrall's home in Gloucestershire fell silent. Everyone, the lawyers, the physicians, the society ladies who'd spent weeks gossiping about their exotic guest, stared at a woman they no longer recognized. Her accent had vanished. Her regal composure had cracked. She was Mary Willcocks, a servant's daughter from Devon, not Princess Caraboo of some phantom Asian kingdom, not royalty at all. I've read the court documents from that day. The disbelief on paper is almost audible, but we need to rewind. Because what happened in that room didn't start in April. It started months earlier in the spring of 1817, when a woman appeared on the road near the village of Almondsbury wearing a turban and a silk dress, speaking gibberish that sounded almost like language. She had no papers, no money, no explanation for who she was. The local constable was baffled. The magistrate was skeptical, but he did something that changed everything. He brought her to Mrs. Worrall's house. Mrs. Worrall was bored. That's the human detail that matters here. She was wealthy, respectable, and absolutely starved for novelty. A mysterious foreign woman, perfect. When the magistrate explained the situation, Mrs. Worrall didn't see a problem to solve. She saw an opportunity. She invited the woman to stay. Just temporarily, she said. Just until they figured things out. The woman, who'd call herself Caraboo, was brilliant. She didn't overplay it. She used hand gestures instead of speaking when possible. When she did speak, the sounds were deliberate, theatrical, just foreign enough to be believable. She wore the turban constantly. She refused certain foods for religious reasons. She performed daily prayers in a language nobody could identify. Each gesture was a brick in the wall of her story. Within weeks, she'd woven together a narrative. She was a princess from a distant eastern island. Accounts vary on whether it was Java, Sumatra, or something entirely fictional. She'd been kidnapped by pirates, escaped, fell overboard, washed ashore in England with nothing but her clothes and her secrets. Mrs. Worrall didn't just believe her, she became her advocate. She showed Caraboo off to friends, to relatives, to anyone who mattered. And here's where it gets darker, because high society didn't just accept her, they competed to host her. Physicians examined her. One doctor declared her entirely genuine, her skin tone, her bone structure, her mannerisms all consistent with Eastern royalty. A language scholar claimed he recognized words from her gibberish. Newspapers picked up the story. By summer, Princess Caraboo was famous. I've seen this pattern before in my years covering wars and political upheaval. People believe what they want to believe. They see what confirms their assumptions. Here were educated, wealthy Englishmen, lawyers, doctors, landowners, desperate to believe in something exotic, something that proved their sophistication. Caraboo was a mirror. She reflected back exactly what they wanted to see. But every lie has a shelf life. In April 1817, someone, possibly a servant, possibly a former acquaintance, recognized her. Word reached the magistrate. When confronted, Caraboo didn't fight. She confessed everything. She was Mary Willcocks, born in Devon, poor, desperate. She'd created an entire identity to escape her circumstances, and for 11 months she'd succeeded. The scandal was ferocious. Newspapers that had celebrated her mocked her. The same physicians who'd testified to her authenticity vanished from the record. Mrs. Worrall felt humiliated, though she'd also been fooled, which matters. Caraboo faced charges, but here's the twist. She was sympathetic. A poor woman who'd invented herself rather than accept poverty. Juries of the era understood desperation. She was transported to America. Some accounts say she lived a quiet life afterward. Others claim she continued reinventing herself, a woman who'd learned that identity was the ultimate currency. What's certain is this: she'd exposed something rotten in Georgian society. The desperation of the wealthy to be deceived. The willingness of educated men to ignore evidence that contradicted what they wanted to believe. Princess Caraboo, or Mary Willcocks, reminds us that power isn't always held by those with titles. Sometimes it's held by someone willing to tell a better story. She didn't have a kingdom or an army. She had intelligence, audacity, and an understanding of human nature. In a world that gave her nothing, she took everything. Subscribe. Each week we uncover the forgotten scandals that shattered royal courts and changed history.